RTO here. Welcome to part 3 of the nuts and bolts of RTO. Today we're going to talk about how we get retro ranking. And the truth comes out today, how I do retro ranking. Now, unlike the album ranking where I've got oodles and pages of stuff, retro ranking is literally done week at a time. Sometimes I don't know what we're doing up until the day I put it together. So what I do is look at what sort of stuff we've got on the other shows, and then I try and pick something that's totally off kilter, that's got nothing to do with what we're doing. So that's why you've come up with some really bizarre ones. But what normally happens, I have got some greatest hits albums of the 50s and 60s, but all I normally do is troll through Spotify and go, okay, we'll have a look at that. I mean, there's bands like we did the Human League. I've got some Human League. I've got some Kinks because I like the Kinks. What else have we done? I can't remember what we've done. We've done so many. Suzi Quatro and Mud, Slade. I've got tons of that because it's sort of my childhood. But there's some of the things that I've never got anything by that band. But I think most of the stuff we've got so far, I've got stuff by. So, but I am going to go deep dive now and try and find stuff that I haven't got that I wouldn't mind having a listen to. So you could end up in the next few months some right weird, wonderful stuff. So how do I go about it? So I relate it to the top 10 and a few honourable mentions. Basically what I do, I will put on the greatest hits album, and if there's 20 tracks on there, I'll put it down, and while I'm listening to it I have a blank bit of paper and I'll go, oh, I don't mind that one. I just write it down on the sheet. And if you've got an album of, what I'll do, I'll try and number it down to about 15 tracks, and then what I'll do then is I will again sit down and listen to that 15. Okay, take an example, one totally that I've only got a greatest hits album of, and that's ABBA. You can tell when I've recorded this because if you know that it's in the week while I was doing ABBA. Basically I just sat down and listened to my ABBA greatest hits, and then I think out of that I got about 20, and I just had to listen to it again and then ticked it off until I'd got, I think it's about 14, 15, because there's one honourable mention in that, if you remember, that's got not on an hour, it's never released as a single, whether it was on there because of a reason. So then I sit and seriously look and say, okay, well, out of this, these are the ones I like now. Which of these is my favourite? So I then put them as exact tracks into a playlist on Spotify. Now and that normally happens if I give myself an advance of time. When I do my housework on a Saturday morning, I put it on I've got the Alexa things, I've got them all around the house. Yes, I'm sad, but for this reason it's great because you can listen to music as you're doing all your bits. But if I'm in a hurry, if it's a hurry thing, it's a case of sitting down one night and just listening, and then I work out the list they're going in. And I never write anything down for my scripts. I basically just dictate into the microphone because it's much easier. So that's how that happens. Now, I've been asked, where do you get your music from that introduces the shows? Well, you'll find it on no other album, because it's what I created back in about 2000 on the PlayStation 2. They used to get a thing with the music thing, and me and one of my good friends, we sat and composed all this music. Normally when we come back from the pub, like all good rock and rollers, our best creative work is after a few beers. So that's where all that music comes from, and because it's not other person's, it's not copyrighted, so that's where you get little snippets from what I did. If anyone would like to listen to the full tracks, ask me and I will upload them. Very simple. I thought that then there at the end of Retro Ranking, because people have asked me where you get your music from, because some of it's pretty funky and cool. Yeah, I mean it's sort of, it shows what inspires me. I mean I'm a big Jar fan, as you know, and Mark Oldfield and Art of Noise, so it's a combination of all that. Okay, that's Retro Ranking. That's how that all comes apart. Yeah, some of it is really off the cuff. Tomorrow we will be discussing how I pick a classic album and for the one-off hits albums. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll be back on air soon. So this is what, day 3, so I might be getting internet connections, but I'll have all that unpacking and all that business to do. So ta-ta for now.